The following video is meant for entertainment and satire purposes only. It does not reflect upon the point of views of the actual people presented here. Thank you, and enjoy. Welcome back to the life of an internet troll. Today we get to learn where the trolling began. Normally, you may all think that trolling was born with the internet, but you might be surprised to know that they have existed since the dawn of time. Luckily for us, our 5 trolls actually know a great deal in trolling history. Let's listen.
I think it was in the Bible, during the Adam and Eve story. And what happens is that they're in the Garden of Eden, and then there's this fruit that Eve ends up eating even though God told them not to do it.
I believe it began around the Egyptian age. There was a pharaoh, I forgot what his name was, but he was never satisfied with anything because he didn't think he had a big enough nose.
The earliest trolling that I know about in history would have to be during the times of Troy.
Ooh, that's a tricky one. I think it had something to do with them characters from the Bible, Adam and Eve, and...
Somebody already mentioned Adam and Eve.
Oh, fish sticks.
Now, the Trojans, they made this giant wooden horse, and they decided to go in order to make a sneak attack on the Greeks.
I heard that trolling began in the days of the cavemen. The cavemen used to draw on walls, and when drawing the animal textures, they wouldn't actually draw them. They would place actual animal skin onto the drawings.
Well, actually, just so you know, back in that time, having a smaller nose meant that you looked more feminine.
I think it all started with Nelrim. Nelrim was, according to legend, this guy who dressed up as a wizard.
And a lot of people think it was Eve that was the first troll, but in reality, in my opinion anyway, it was a snake. Because he's the one who encouraged Eve to eat it.
The servants that didn't really like him much, what they did was they broke off the nose of the statue that was modeled after the pharaoh, and they gave it to him.
Now, sometime when they finished the horse and stuff like that, they brought it to Greece, and the Greeks were like, oh cool, let's keep it. So during that night that the horse was brought in, all the Trojans came out, and they killed everyone, and they pretty much conquered Greece.
And he told this fat, sloppy Joe guy to pull some sword out of a stone. He did, and everybody just declared him king. You know, normally you would question that, but considering he was dressed as a wizard, people would believe him.
The funny thing is that they didn't actually kill animals to place the skin. Instead, they took animal skins from the clothing of the other cavemen.
And you know, there was this castle, round table, and then they went looking for this holy grail, and then the crusades with the assassins, and it's a lot of stuff.
I think it's at that point that trolling was invented as a battle weapon, but this is not like the trolling that we all know today.
Today, the noseless statue is now known as the Sphinx.
And it's not because he's the devil that makes him the first troll, it's more like he wants to piss off God, just for fun. So I think that's how it all started, and don't think it has changed ever since.
Because this kind of trolling requires a lot of craftsmanship, because I'm sure making that giant wooden horse requires a lot of hard work, and it's also a lot more physical in a sense.
But in short, I think Nelrim has to be the first troll ever recorded in history.
Well, there's something you could put in the history books. Join us next time as we take a look at the feminine side of the life of an internet troll.
You know, come to think of it, what would the Greeks do with a giant wooden horse anyways?